What is up, everybody? So I wanted to make a video because, like I said, well, actually I didn't say because the video hasn't been released yet, but this one is getting bumped up in the queue. This is a truth be told about Buck Naykid, aka No Money Nomad, aka Patrick Rowley. I had to take a bunch of notes here because this is the stuff that I've seen and gone through over the years. Now, most people are like, well, isn't he your friend? And yeah, he was. But it's one of those things that he's a great guy if you never meet him in person. If you just stick to what he says online, yeah, great guy. You know, everything's believable and whatnot. He's a great storyteller, great submarine pilot. But basically, over the past 4 years since we've been here, I have lists of things that I've experienced. Now, he's on disability, which is something that he straight put himself there. He doesn't do anything to improve his life. He is just one of those career welfare people. Stories that he's told, you know, he loves to brag about all the great things he's done over his life. No proof or evidence. Like, say, you know, he always has to one-up you too. Like, I was getting back into concert lighting, and I have pictures of all the previous concert lighting stuff I've ever done. And of course he goes, yeah, so it's a real small rig. And I said, well, it's better than anything you've ever done. And he's like, well, I wouldn't say that. And I said, well, the difference between me and you is I have pictures. I have my receipts. And, you know, there's things like, I remember once, not long after we got here, actually, and it took everything in me not to go super rage because it really pissed me off. But it was, you know, not long after Mick had passed. And yes, I was on the phone with him, and, you know, he was trying to, you know, he sent me a dog puppy listing that looked exactly like Mick, basically, and I lost it. I still cry to this day over the loss of that boy. And he was in front of some druggy people that he is, oh, they're my best friends, you know. And I can't remember how the subject got brought up, but he was like, man, you were crying like a little girl over Mick, over your dog. And that took everything in me not to just blow up. But, you know, anyways, you know, over the years, he loves to talk about all the things he's owned and all the businesses and ladies, and he was such a success. Basically, I've made a list. He said he has owned many planes, many planes, twin engines, single engines, everything but jets, turboprops, everything. You know, he was so rich and fabulous. No proof, no pictures. And mind you, everything he's ever said, he has no pictures, no proof, no receipts, you know. But he's owned multiple strip clubs. There's some big strip club that's like still famous to this day that I guess he was part owner in that. He was actually majority owner in that. He owned a NASCAR pit team, so many rare cars too. He's had tons of rare cars. And he also has owns, you know, his grandparents bought him a, you know, just a riding nag, and come to find out it was a $250,000 racing horse that was just his everyday riding nag. No big deal. It's one thing he's mentioned in all his stories, that is, there's two things that are consistent with his stories. Is one, when he was homeless in Ohio or something like that. And his grandparents were being super rich. He's known many celebs, like out on Lake Mead with Charlie Sheen. No big deal there, just hanging out with Charlie Sheen and the boys for the day. Kate, you know, he also, well, this is gonna, you know, he met Warren Buffett, hung out with him for a while, no big deal. And he claims that he has also flown helicopter rig or camera rigs, meaning that they were like the helicopter, he was a helicopter pilot for big movie productions, like he said Titanic and Deep Blue Sea. And he flew the helicopter that had the camera rig on it for like the big shots or whatever. And, you know, when they were down in Mexico, he was hanging out with Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio and at his big, huge Mexican casa, which he knew some big cartel guy down there that gave him some card or something that if he ever gets pulled over, just show the cops this and, oh, hey, oh, you big shot, you big grande, oh, I say, oh, how you get this? You're so famous and popular. He's made millions and millions of dollars. So many millions, it's not even funny. Let me see, that's page 1. Oh yeah, he's owned DJ businesses, because when I was talking about me doing DJing and concerts on the lights, of course, he owned big, huge, successful DJ businesses. And it's like, okay, dude, I don't know who you're competing with. That's the one thing about me, is that I'm always honest. I will never lie about things. I will never make up stories or try to one-up someone. If you're someone's friend, you should say, oh, wow, that's cool. You should, if you're a true friend, you want to see them succeed. Even if that means they succeed better than you. It should never be, he's the type of person, he's two types of people. One, I'm going to insert a clip here.
Yo, Cooper, you want to play tag? Sounds good. All right. Tag, you're here. Stop! Stop! I don't like this game!
And by that clip, what that means is that he will poke at you. And God forbid you poke back, then he turns into a giant man baby. 2, he's the type that he's in your face going, hey, good job. But in reality, he's like, God, I hope he fails. I hope he fails. So you can say, oh, I told you, you fucking loser. That's the type of person he is. And I know he's noticed, because it's like, yeah, I know, I even have videos coming up saying my guy buck naked, because my studio was in his house. And it was a room that I was renting. It wasn't just, hey, come on down and, you know, take up this room and everything rent free and everything. We were paying rent. And I'm going to come up to a subject on that too. We were paying rent. So basically I was renting out that room. Whenever I would do like live streams or videos, he would just come barging in and just talking vulgar stuff. I mean, stuff that could get you banned off of YouTube and for sure TikTok. Luckily, I have a mute button on my board here. So anytime he popped his head in, I would mute immediately, because I know it was going to be something vulgar or disgusting that, again, revert to previous meme video of, if I were to do that to him, if he was live streaming, not that he live streams or anything anymore, and not that he really ever did. If I were to do that to him, it would be, how dare you, my production, you ruined it, he would just go off the deep end. But he can come in on anybody else's live streams and videos and, you know, fuck with them however he wants. Let me see. Okay, so then, yeah, we're going to get to his dogs. You know, when I first met him, he had Zeba. Or Ziva, whatever the dog's name is. I don't know. I think it was Zeba. Basically, I've known him for 8 years. I met him online. We've been here for 4 years now. And I mean, basically, since I met him, because he had Zeba up until like 6 years ago. And when she passed, who knows how old she was, it's probably his oldest dog. Then he had Romeo and Girly, which Romeo passed on our way. When we were coming here, he passed. And now, mind you, we've been in Florida for 4 years. So that's Romeo passed, that's dog number 2. Then Gurley passed shortly afterwards. So then he bought Freya and Max. So Freya, Max. And Max was a handful. He was a high energy dog. He would dig his way out and escape and whatever. And he would always get him back. Well, he just couldn't take it anymore. So he straight up got on his golf cart and drove Max somewhere and let him go. And when the pound called him and was like, hey, we have your dog, he's like, oh, I'm old and disabled and he escapes and I can't take care of him. Keep him. Okay. So now he immediately went out and got another high energy dog named Koenig, who is a German Shepherd Husky. Mind you, he still has Freya. So that's 6 dogs. That's 6 dogs in like 6 years. So it's basically a dog a year. Mind you, Gurley, Romeo, Zeba are all buried in the backyard. And come to find out, that's very illegal in Florida. You cannot bury large animals on your property because their juices can leak down into the groundwater. That's a big no-no. He never brings his dogs to the vets. Never gets them shots, anything like that. It's crazy. Let me see here now. 6 dogs in basically 6 years. And made fun of me for crying when Mick passed. And now, okay, so Freya, he still has Freya. I mean, granted, to him, dogs are objects. You know, for those of you that have seen his video that goes, oh, I think I got to get rid of my dogs. It's like a knife to the heart. You know, they're my children. My children. No, I'm sorry. They're not your children. They're your property. That's exactly how you see your dogs, is as your property. Mick was my child. Anubis is my child. I would do anything and everything. I would sell everything to make sure Anubis has everything he needs. I will sell my van, my cargo trailer, all my studio gear, everything to make sure that dog is taken care of. I do not care. I will eat ramens so that dog can eat. I will do whatever it takes so he has a good, better than me life. Patrick, on the other hand, aka Buck, aka No Money Nomad, whatever you want to call him, his dogs are just possessions. Freya is an all-black Doberman. Well, typical Doberman colors. Kodak is a 98% black German, long-haired German Shepherd Husky mix. He leaves them outside for hours at a time. Now, we're in Florida. You know, when it says it's 95 degrees out here, it's, you know, real feel is 110. And he'll leave them out back for hours on end. He'll go somewhere and leave the dogs outside. No water, no way to get back in. I mean, there's some bushes back there that they have dug holes under. You guys will see the next video that I had anti-bark things, because basically they're so feral because they don't get any attention. All he does is sit at his computer desk, you know, watching UFC fights, which apparently, oh yeah, that's right, he knows like big UFC fighters. He's like good friends with them and everything like that. So he basically knows everybody. You know, he's Mr. Super Popular. You know, done it all, seen it all. Let's see here now. Yeah, but basically he just sits at his desk all day. The only movement he really does is if he happens to get a ride up to the store from someone. We stopped giving him rides a long time ago because He never showers. He never changes his clothes. And very rarely, occasionally, he will. Usually, it's only when he has a doctor's appointment. So that means that when he gets out of our car, because he never showers and he doesn't wipe properly, if you catch my drift, our car will smell like poop. So we have to douse the seat in Febreze, which is not good. I'm sorry, but so after the third time of him doing that, we just, nah, I'm busy. I can't. We're low on gas. Gas price is too high. Man, damn this high gas prices. That sucks. You know, and it's like, yeah, he sits at his desk all day, not doing anything, just watching UFC crap, political stuff. He's huge on politics, loves to watch drama about politics, goes on other people's videos, commenting nasty stuff, loves to brag about, you know, all the crap he does on Twitter and how, oh, he's banned on Twitter again, or X, whatever it's called nowadays. And he loves to brag about how he gets banned on these social media platforms for trolling and just being a large piece of crap. And it's like, okay, good for you, dude. Nobody cares. And he may say that, oh, well, I'm in so much pain and this, that, and the next thing. Well, a few things. He lives like a complete hoarder, never cleans up. I have tried to help him multiple times, like 2 or 3 times, cleaning up that apartment, trying to clean up helping him clean his room, which his room has a closet in it that is just overflowing, where he just takes garbage and throws it in the closet, mixed with clothes and debris and all sorts of crap on an old crappy mattress that Freya has peed all over. And he takes his old used pillows, throws them off to the side, and then Freya would go and pee on those and poop on those. I cleaned them up for him, which was absolutely disgusting. They had dried and fresh pee and poop on them, and he's breathing this in, you know, while he's sleeping, and doesn't see a problem with it. The smell is a cross between dog shit, mold, mildew, and just BO in his house. You know, I mean, I have all my little scented candles in here and stuff like that, and that's what I had in the studio because it helped, you know, keep the studio clean and smelling clean. Because I may not, I mean, we moved in, I mean, it's the 19th of July. We moved in on the 1st. Yeah, my studio is a mess, but you know what? That's the thing too with me. You will always be able to see my background. With him, I mean, granted, he has all his videos privatized because whatever. But with him, it's always the cameras right here in his face because he doesn't want you to see the hoard and the disgusting mess behind him. Dishes piled up. We're literally, I mean, literally, he's sitting right on the other side of this wall of my studio. And he lives so disgusting. We've dropped probably $300 on roach stuff. And maybe a little less, I don't know. But to try to keep the roaches down in here. And we're, knock on wood, on top of it. But, I mean, he has dishes piled up. Garbage is overflowing. The dogs will shit in his dining room. And instead of cleaning it up right away like a normal person, he just puts a box over it, lets it dry out for a couple months, which if you look up and Google, is it good to just let dog feces dry up? And they will tell you, this is why on like animal hoarders and stuff, people have such many breathing issues, is because when the fecal matter dries, it actually releases like mold and bacteria and crap into the air that you can't breathe, you shouldn't breathe in. That's why, you know, your dog has an accident, clean it up. Anytime Mick or Sam ever had an accident on the floor, Newbie's a good boy. He hasn't had one yet. He's not a poop dog. You know, anytime they've had an accident on the floor, I've cleaned it up immediately. And plus, when a dog craps, for anybody who's had a dog, when a dog craps in the house, I don't care if you're sleeping or wide awake, you can't ignore that. It's just nasty. Now, onto his dogs again, too. I'm not, you know, saying shame on you for feeding kibble, because, you know, I mean, hell, I fed Mick and Sam and everybody kibble for, you know, hell, Anubis started out on kibble. Now he's on a completely 100% raw diet. Spoiled rotten dog. Actually, it's not even raw. We have to cook it for him. Spoiled rotten brat. But he will constantly, and anybody again who's owned dogs know that when you switch up foods with a dog, you need to slowly, you know, mix in the new stuff with the old stuff and whatnot, otherwise they get the shits. Well, he buys whatever's on sale, you know, so he's constantly, whatever the cheapest on sale food is what he'll buy. So he is constantly switching up their foods. Which, I mean, and he buys a big, huge box of Milk-Bone dog treats for 2 dogs. And they're I mean, it's a big box. It's got like 100 treats in it or something like that. He will go through that in a week. In a week between 2 dogs, because he's just gluttonous. Just here you go, here you go, here you go. He orders food for himself. And, you know, if he orders McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, pizza, he orders the dog some. Now, I mean, hey, that's whatever. You know, you want to feed your dog food, but he doesn't order the burgers plain. That means that they have onions on them. They have all the stuff that dogs shouldn't have. He will give them, he's made pasta with extra onions and extra garlic in it. Garlic and onions are toxic to dogs. And he just feeds it to them. He's like, oh, yep, you know, the dogs love it, you know, and then he'll talk about feeding the dogs like fudge and chocolate. And, you know, if you say that's not good for dogs, I would never do that to my dog, then he'll purposely talk about it even more, about how, oh, my dogs love it. My dogs love it. Again, that poke, 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 you know. And it's like, okay, dude, you're the one that's killing your dogs. I feel bad for your dogs, that your dogs have to suffer and live a shit life like that, which is why you know, never see his dogs on camera. Why you never see his whole back of his house on camera. Why he's never walking around. It's got to be close up, nothing in the background, cool. Granted, we're getting to that. Now, he's on disability. He gets like $900 a month. He also gets $350 in food stamps. Now, hey, you know, if you need help, there's people out there who need help, and, you know, yeah, should get it. Someone like him, no. I'm sorry, but he made himself disabled. He's got diabetes, sleep apnea. Apparently, he's got narcolepsy, which he can pick and choose when that's coming on and whatnot. And which last time I checked on narcolepsy, it's just something that you're just talk. I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor. He is. He's Rowley, MD. He knows more about the medical profession than the doctors that see him. Again, that one-up mentality. I know more than everybody. I've done it all and seen it all. That submarine pilot mentality. He will put all his videos on private like he just did, because he's an Ebegger. And, you know, I told him, I said, why did you private all your buck naked videos, man? They're fucking hilarious. And they're very entertaining, you know, and the Market of Marion stuff with the beef jerky business. And, well, I didn't want people to, you know, judge me for failing. I'm like, well, if someone is judging you for failing, at least you tried. But the reality of it is that he didn't try. Yeah, he had the one video of him at Market of Marion, but then the Market of Marion burnt down. Well, I investigated that. And the Market of Marion, yes, did have a fire. Not in the section that his beef jerky business was in. Not even close to it. Meaning that he did it once or twice, and then took all the beef jerky home and ate it. Literally ate it. Took anybody's money. Did anybody who ordered the beef jerky actually receive their beef jerky? That would be my question. Did anybody, because I know my mom ordered it. She never received any. Did anybody actually receive any beef jerky from him when he did that little beef jerky business? Let me see. Yeah, he puts all his videos on private because he was e-begging to get that business started. And people donated, you know, and of course he failed, but he just didn't want to put in the work. He wants to, I mean, he was going to start up a channel called A Retarded Black Woman. That's what he was going to make. He told me, I'm going to make this channel. It's going to be strictly an e-begging channel. It's like, okay, that's going to get like taken down and banned like immediately. Oh, well, then I'll just make another one. He likes to, again, poke, you know, and God forbid anybody pokes back. And he loves to talk about all these business ideas and this, that, and the next thing that in reality wouldn't be all that much to start up a business. But for those of you that know him and have talked business, anything with him, you know, he doesn't want to just go, okay, well, you know, I'd like to start up a food truck. Well, you know, okay, we'll start small and then work your way up from there. Well, for a food truck, you'd have to have a clean house or a clean place to prepare the food. He does not. Nope. And he is just talk. There's talkers and there's doers. And yes, I talk a lot, but you know what? I'm also a doer. Everything that I've ever said that I want to do or am going to do, I've done it. You know, some of it happened quicker than others. When I was first moving down here, I'm like, yeah, my goal is within the next few years, get a cargo trailer, convert it, blah, blah, blah. And literally within the first 6 months of moving here, I bought a cargo trailer. I thought that was going to take me years. Everything that I do, I say I'm going to do, I do it. It may take me a little bit longer, but I do it. Him doing these e-begging videos about, oh, my life is tough. Oh, I can't afford my apartment or anything. His rent was $800. We were paying $200 of that. And supposedly his rent was going to go up to $1,200. And we were going to pay him $300. Okay, cool. Whatever. That was both our rents only go up $100 more a month. Well, come to find out his rent was never going up. His rent was only at $800 and was probably going to stay that way because the landlord doesn't want to clean that place. And that's why his whole, I can eke it out till, you know, August or whatever. And for him, it means basically I can just sit here and do nothing. And then he went out and seen some Breaking Bad style RV because it's being sold by one of his junkie friends that comes and buys his prescription medications. Because yes, that's right. He gets a ton of prescription medications a month. He's on Medicaid, or not Medicaid, that's the old folks stuff, retirement stuff. Whatever the government welfare medical assistance crap is called. I don't even know what it's called. So yeah, he gets like Oxycontins, Adderall, diabetes, medications and stuff like that. And yeah, he'll take some of them. He basically he gets like a ton of Oxys every month and Adderall, and he doesn't take any of his Adderall. He sells them to the guy with the RV and whatnot. So I'm sure that it's not actually buying an RV, not that he's going to anyway. It's more or less going to be trading for pills. His Oxycontins, he sells those. He keeps in just enough to get by through the month. And then sells the rest. He sells his diabetic medication stuff to some guy. And let me see, there's other stuff. But, I mean, basically, he'll sit there and when people are around, he's, oh, I'm in such pain. Oh, it's such a bad day. Oh. Or when he's recording a video, it's, oh, my life sucks. Oh, it's so bad. But in reality, he put himself there. Maybe if you took the medications that were prescribed to you, all of them, maybe your life wouldn't suck so bad. Maybe, you know, whatever. So let's get this, let's tally this up here. He gets free medical assistance. So he doesn't have to pay anything out of pocket for his medications or doctor visits or anything like that. He gets $900 in disability because he hasn't worked any time. Like, I looked up his records. He was never in the military. He claimed that he was a Marine Apache pilot during Desert Storm when I first met him. He's never been in the military, let alone had a pilot's license. Apparently, according to, now I could have read this wrong, but according to his records, he hasn't had his driver's license since he was 20. Well, no money, Nomad. How'd you drive around in that car, in that RV? Oh, wait. Boop. What's this? That would be a picture of his driving with revoked driver's license. That means that and the charge was driving with a license that was revoked longer than 6 months ago. He claims that it was something back in Ohio or wherever, someplace that he was homeless, whatever. I don't care. As far as I've seen from his records, he has not had a driver's license since he was like 18 or 20. Now, as far as his rich grandparents go, I believe his grandparents were rich. Again, there's two consistent stories that he tells. Something about his rich grandparents owning a thoroughbred farm, which that was sort of confirmed by somebody that says that they basically bought his dad's house off of him. And when we see the picture of the guy that they bought the house, it looks like his dad. Or maybe an older brother or something. Because he does have older brothers and sisters, or sister. I don't know. They never talk to him. They never get in contact. They never visit. Because basically, from what I've gathered, is Grandma and Grandpa were rich. He was the loser fuck up of the family that, you know, whenever he showed up to a family get together, it was, hey guys, I got $1 million idea. Who wants to invest? And take their money and run. And oh, we lost it. I lost it. So finally, they're just like, we want nothing to do with you. You're cut off. Get out of our lives. I want to say one of his brothers is even local still and never visits, never has any contact. He never talks about him. I found this out through a background check. He, again, is a giant Ebegger. That's all he wants. He wants to ebeg. That's why he's got, you know, his whatever. And now that he's being held accountable because he knows I'm pissed off. Basically, why we moved was when the rent went up and we were going to offer to pay more rent, he's like, okay, cool, yeah, $300, that would be awesome, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem. And then literally right after we paid him the $200 for the June's rent, all of a sudden, literally within a few days, he's like, well, we're all going to have to move. I think I can eke it out or stretch it out till August before we get evicted out of here, but we're all going to have to move. I just can't afford this place. And that was supposedly at the $1,200 a month. So we're like, and him saying in his video that the landlord backdated it, meaning that it was middle of June, and he said, oh, well, no, actually, you owe me $1,200 for this month. No, he didn't. He didn't even pay June's rent. He took our money and then kept it, spent it on, you know, Little Debbie snack cakes and whatever, and freaking food and snacks, and then freaking, yeah, turned around and said, oh, we all are going to have to move. And that's when he devised a plan of e-begging for the RV, hoping that people could pay for it and whatnot when he had no intention. Supposedly, people have donated like $198. But insert clip here. Of him ordering pizza, getting pizzas delivered. Yes, granted, you know, for someone who's so desperate and hard up for cash, can't even afford an RV, but is selling prescription pain medications. And I've seen how much he made from that, anywhere between $400 to $1,000 when he sells his pills. You know, cash money. $900 in disability, $350 in food stamps, but he can't afford to live here. When he said, I can't afford to live here, we're all going to have to move, we went up to, said, well, you know, okay, so you can't afford, well, what if we paid $400 a month? You know, and we were even going to go up to $500 a month, which we offered. And he was, nope, 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 can't afford it, can't afford it, nope, 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 nope. Can't afford it, can't afford it. All right, whatever, dude. You know, can't afford it, can't afford it. All right, cool, we'll find another place. Luckily, this place had just come up for rent, and we're still paying $950 a month here. So we're paying more than him, and he can't pay his rent. Seems legit. But basically, do not donate to him. I know I'm kind of going all over the place because I literally have like 3 pages of stuff here. But you won't see a video from him for a very long time, if ever again. At least not on Buck Naked or anything like that, because you notice how he took and hid. They're not deleted, they're privated. He took all his videos and put them on private. Because that way then you can't message him and go, hey, you piece of crap, where's my money? I thought you were buying this RV. Oh, you know, he even said, oh, I think I'm going to have to be Camper Van Elvis. And started going pay your taxes. Well, yeah, Elbow was a piece of crap, but at least he showered, or at least I'm assuming he showered, and kept a semi-clean place from what I've seen, and had no problem showing the Lisa Marie off in all her Elbow glory. You can't do anything without being super close to the camera and hiding all your backgrounds, because, you know, you live like a hoarder with dog feces on the floor, the smell and mold and dishes piled up, roaches crawling all over. It's just absolutely disgusting. And as far as buying that RV, he did the one video. He's not buying no RV. I'm sure those junkies, he couldn't come to a proper pill arrangement for the RV. So they probably use it to produce crystal therapy, if that makes sense, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's giving off very big Heisenberg Breaking Bad vibes. And I'm assuming that they don't want to get rid of their little smoke shack or cookhouse. Because it is off in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, I hate to tell you this, dude, but in reality, an RV park, oh, I found this RV park for $500, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, they also charge electric. Okay, so the way you run your shit, you're going to probably end up paying another $200-300 a month in electric. Well, now you're up to $700-800. Now, and that's just between your rent and your electric. What about your phone bill, your internet, your dogs, your food, this, that, and the next thing? You're going to be actually worse off than what you started, all because you just wanted to take the money and run. You were hoping, because you made that stupid little, when you were sold your golf cart video, you made that video and it got like 900 views on shorts. And that's how shorts work. Some of my shorts have like 20 views. Other shorts of mine have like almost 2,000 views. Shorts, it's because people are swipe, swipe, swipe. It doesn't mean that your audience wants you back. You know, some people were looking forward. I was looking forward to, you know, helping you make content and coming back. But then you just straight pissed me off, because my problem is that I'm an asshole, but I'm also, you know, I try to be loyal to my friends. And yes, at one point he was a friend. Not anymore. I want nothing to do with him. And, you know, for those people that say, wait, he's selling prescription pain medications, isn't that illegal? Yes. Yes, it is. It is very illegal. That's all I'm going to say about that. Him leaving his dogs outside, his 2 black dogs outside with no water. Isn't that animal cruelty? Doesn't Florida have an ASPCA police department or an ASPCA? Yes, they do. Karma's a bitch. That's all I gotta say. Me and him got into it one day, and I had anti-bark things because he again leaves his dogs outside so much and ignores them so much that basically they're feral. His one dog Freya will bark, 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 bark. I hung up anti-bark things on the fence. Well, he went out, and that'll be the next video released, basically the next day from this one. Went out, ripped them off the fence, and tossed them in the neighbor's locked backyard. So I got to wait till tomorrow to get them back and go over and be like, yeah. Which, I hate to tell you this, Buck, but guess what? They got cameras there. So those were like $30 a piece. So once I get the camera footage from the neighbors, yes, the sheriffs will be paying you a visit. Probably for, among other things, as well. But, let me see. Yep, claims have been, yep, Apache pilot, commercial airline pilot. Yeah, mind you, on the 30th of this month, he will turn 57 years old. So mind you, he's done all this marvelous stuff, hung out with movie stars, been a Marine Apache pilot in Desert Storm, owned all these businesses, made millions, and done this, that, and the next thing, and just so popular, such a stud muffin, married to all those stripper wives and whatnot, and owning that NASCAR pit team, and flying and owning the Casa down in Mexico, and being friends with that cartel guy, and movie pilot, and this, that, and the next thing, all by the time he was 56 years old, and is now e-begging for snacks, but claims that it's for to help me out, get on my feet again, blah, 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 blah. You know, he's already, again, he's buying pizza, snack foods. As far as his diabetes, if I was became diabetic, I'd give up Monster. I'd give up soda. I would change my diet completely around. And yeah, I can call him a fat bastard. And, because, yeah, I'm not exactly Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, buff and ripped here, but I'm also very active. We took Anubis to the dog park today, and he had a good time. I play with him. I walk around. I go take him for walks out front. I work on things. I do more than just make videos. I know a lot of my stuff is in the studio and behind the desk, but there's a lot of stuff where I'm out. I'm very active, as I make about one video a day, one video every other day, whatever. And I'm just very active, and the videos are going to start getting even more active. It's just I've made so much content that I'm very far ahead in my scheduled videos. But this one is getting bumped up because it needs to be released. It needs to be for anybody that follows him and me, because I know a lot of our followers are crossed. You'll see he took down all his videos. He just wanted to e-beg, get a couple bucks, and then now doesn't want to be held accountable with, hey, where's that RV that you said you were going to buy? Where's this, that, and the next thing you said? None of it's true. He just wanted to e-beg, and now he doesn't want to have any way of people get a hold of him except his phone number in his YouTube channel. It's right in his description. Yeah, it's basically, I'm making this video as he needs to get exposed. He needs to be held accountable. He's a big boy. Pretend to put on those big boy pants, huh? And maybe grow the fuck up. You make $900 in disability every month that you don't deserve. You get $350 in food stamps. You're selling your prescription pain medications, your Oxycontins, your Adderall, your diabetes medication, and all this, that, and the next thing, and you can't make rent. You can't pay your bills. Wow. And that's from the landlord's mouth, that he didn't even pay June's rent. And, he was out front talking to him, and I got it on security camera, talking about how, well, if, we scam some old person's foundation thing that, they'd help me get caught up on rent. They'll pay 1 month, and you tell them I need something from you that says it's $1,200. They don't know that I'm only paying $800 a month. As far as they're concerned, my rent's $1,200. He is talking about scamming some foundation that helps old people to pay their rent, or at least 1 month's worth of rent. So if you follow him, or you know, if you've donated to him, you know, basically up to 6 months to a year, you can charge back on PayPal. You can also share this video, warn other people, don't go there, you know, do not help him out. Granted, he took down all his videos because he's a coward. He took down all his videos, everything. I mean, he's probably debating whether or not to completely delete his channel. And yeah, it's just crazy. You know, it's do not donate to him. RV's a lie, beef jerky business, all the lies. Lies, lies, lies. Yep, all right. That's everything. But yeah, I needed to make this video just to warn people, especially since he was basically bragging about how he already made $198 and he's, you know, hopefully going to get more and continuously ebeg. But then we moved out and he wanted to pick a fight with me, and I don't have to bite my tongue anymore. I don't have to be nice. I don't have to bite my tongue. I will straight go right for the jugular. You know, as far as your drug dealing days are over or going buck, Patrick, Aaron, Rowley, well, those are done. You're done. As far as your e-begging goes, it's done. Drug dealing? Nope, not no more. Better pay that rent the legal way or move out properly and find a way to downsize your life so you can afford it on the budget you have, because your good time days, they're done. You're done, dude. So with that being said, make sure to share, comment. If you want any more information, hit up my link tree that's got my email. I can email you. I believe it even has my phone number on it. If not, follow me, message me. I'll give you my number if you have anything that you want to talk about. Or if you've donated and you don't know how to do the chargeback and you want to share with this video and try to help people not get scammed, let me know. So that being said, I'm going to call it quits for this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. And one other thing that I wanted to add to this video was, you know, he'll claim that his dogs, you know, Zeba was a service dog, Girly, Freya, they're all service dogs. He's never had a service dog. None of them are service dogs. Yeah, the Marine regiment was the HMLA-169. It's a picture of a cobra. I'll upload the image here. You know, and the thing is that you can pick, or you cannot pick, but you can look up someone's military record, which he has none of. But again, I just wanted to, you know, I needed to make this video for people because he's a perfect example of the bigger moronic loser piece of shit you are, the more you're rewarded. And that needs to stop. People like that need to be held accountable, need to be thrown in jail, need to have their lives completely taken from them. Because why should they get rewarded while the rest of us have to work hard and follow the laws? Well, that all changes now.